If you found this video before February 17, it's no accident. It's no mistake. Hi, welcome to Anya Light Healing. I'm Anya Light. So what's happening February 17th? Well, we've got a lot of stuff happening astrologically. We've got a new moon in Aquarius, a time of innovation, change, breaking out of old conditioned boxes. So we've got the new moon. And according to the Chinese astrology, we are on February 17th, moving out of the year of the snake, which was a time of shedding, release, and moving into the year of the fire horse. So again, if you found this message in the days leading up to this big shift, it is no accident. And I was called to pull some cards for you. And if you're not somebody who normally enjoys card readings, don't worry. This mostly is a channeled message from my heart. I am simply using the cards as a way to gently navigate us through this conversation. All right, so let's dive in. So before I hit record here on my computer, I was feeling into the message. What does the collective need to hear? And right away, I got this message about quest. This transition on February 17th will be really obvious for many of us in terms of conserving our energy. So this person here is on a quest. They are like, do I decide this option or this option or this path? There's many options before us. With this incoming energy, this new fire horse year, it's going to feel like a lot in our system in a good way. So some of you guys have been feeling tired, fatigued, overwhelmed, stressed, like almost for some of you guys, it's been like life has been throwing obstacle after obstacle at you over the past year. For most of you guys, most of my clients and students and myself included, this past year has been very hard. To use a tarot analogy, it's been like the Tower card all year. So if you've been feeling this way, you're not alone. But as we quickly approach this February 17th turning point, we are being gifted with a fresh start. And I also pulled this card before we started recording. And the Ten of Cups, what I am drawn to in this particular moment of looking at the card, because I always see the cards in a different way every time I look at them. And that's what we can do as a side note. Every time we use a spiritual tool, we just look at how is this helpful for us in this moment. I am drawn to looking at this beautiful ground under their feet. They're feeling a lot of joy and happiness, but what are they doing? They're on the ground. These people are standing on the ground. These people are dancing on the ground. And going back to this idea of this energy. So this transition is a moment where more energy starts to flood into our system, more cosmic energy, more, we could call it Reiki energy. And it's nothing that we even necessarily need to do in order for this gift to be given to us. It is just coming. It's just happening. And so the question is, how do we use this energy? Because when we have more energy, especially after we have had a prolonged time of feeling like we have less energy, feeling more fatigued, more tired, it might be tempting to just kind of blow that energy on chaotic activity. And so what I'm feeling for you guys, for all of us, and I'm speaking to myself right now, part of why I wanted to do this reading is to tune into the energy for myself. So I'm right there with you guys, okay? Is to use this gift wisely. To use this gift wisely, because if we can stay focused at this time and get really, I'm dropping cards. Get really clear on how it is that Spirit is guiding us and calling us to use this energy for the benefit of the collective and ourselves, then we're optimizing that energy. Do you know what I'm saying? So an analogy would be like, I'll use a caffeine metaphor, okay? So let's say that we drink a cup of coffee, and let's say that we only drink a cup of coffee every couple times a year, just as like a ceremonial thing. If, by the way, if you're interested in the effects of caffeine in terms of the spiritual journey and some of the pros and cons in that, you can check my recent video I posted last week or the week before, super recently, about caffeine. It's called The Truth About Caffeine. But anyway, so back to my metaphor. So if, let's say that we rarely have caffeine, but once in a while we're like, I'm going to have some caffeine. So we drink a cup of coffee or we drink some matcha or something, and we have this heightened energy for a brief window. Okay, so how are we going to use that energy? Are we going to waste it? Are we just going to like go watch a bunch of movies and like just chill out? Or are we going to use that energy on some project or task that feels really meaningful and fulfilling to us? So, because there's a limited window, because how the universe works is there's cycles for everything. So just as we moved out of the year of the snake, which was a very difficult year of release, surrender, and Spirit was asking us to slow down and rest, because we didn't perceive, it was like, because of all the shedding, it was taxing on our nervous system. And so we really didn't have as much energy to go out and do things. But now the cycle is coming where we will have more energy for this next astrological year in terms of the Chinese New Year. And also new moons are an excellent time of looking ahead to future projects. And it's like the new moon is like a time of reset. And then we can launch ourselves into something new, right? New moon, new projects, new activities. So instead of blowing that energy mindlessly and just kind of like not having an intention or not having a plan, we're going to get clear. And that's why you found this video. We're going to get clear together on what we're doing. And we're setting some goals, some intentions, some vows even, or whatever, words you want to use associated with making plans for the future. But we're going to get clear, okay? So I just pulled the Lovers card. So the Lovers, it reminds us that we have choice, okay? Yes, sometimes the Lovers card can refer to romance and all that fun stuff. But right now, what I'm feeling is like the meaning that means something to us in this moment is choices. So this card reminds us that we have many options. We have many soulmates. We have many people that we can love. We have many potential beautiful connections, but who will we choose? Right? Because some relationships come with an unnecessary amount of pain and struggle, even if they're beautiful also. And some come with more ease, right? So what choices are you going to make that is going to be unnecessarily full of struggle? And what choices are you going to make that are going to, everything in life has some struggle or challenge, right? That is human life. That's existence on earth. But there's some choices that we can make that are going to be baked into the cake of that choice, more flow, more ease. Okay, so yeah, let's just think about that. What choices are we going to make that are going to have more flow and ease? And King of Cups, what choices are going to have more emotional stability? Okay? Because this incoming flux of energy, okay, here's another analogy. So like, have you ever fallen in love and you can't sleep at night because you're so happy that you're in love, So like on the one hand, it's like, oh my God, I have all this energy. Everything is great. And then on the other hand, it's like we can easily burn ourselves out if we are not careful. So the King of Cups is reminding us, the King of Cups is very grounded in their emotional maturity. So can we be emotionally mature enough, build our emotional maturity to select the projects, paths, quests that bring a sense of emotional grounding, right? So that we can steward this energy. Sometimes we talk about stewarding resources, stewarding money, being wise stewards of what we have. And in this moment, we're talking about stewarding this cosmic influx of energy that's coming in. That's going to be a characteristic of this whole next year cycle in terms of the Chinese astrological new year. So this next cycle, how can we be patient with ourselves and get our projects done and our quests accomplished in a way that doesn't burn us out, right? How can we steward wisely this energy? So I want you to take a moment, take a breath with me here. Let's take a pause, okay? So close your eyes if you'd like. If you feel called, close your eyes. Inhale deeply, slowly. Exhale out and send that breath down into your feet. Feel your feet grounded on the earth or grounded on the floor beneath you. Okay, here you are. You are safe to experience this gift of extra energy. Very nice. Yeah, okay, so what I'm seeing here is as we stay grounded, we are going to fully release this past cycle. So one of the beautiful things about astrology and tarot and all these tools, these helpful tools, is we ultimately are given a choice in how we want to navigate our life. And so, yes, it is true that more energy is coming in, but there is a tendency for us human beings to keep looking at the past, right? And this person here is so they want to come here. Their head is on this side and they want to just come to the new, but they're still clinging to the old. So they're in this stuck kind of anxious, look at how horrible that would feel to be in that stuck spot. So what I'm inviting you to do, my dear loves, is letting go of this past year. So a lot of us, God, myself included, we have been through so much this past year. So many challenges. $14 on the timer. And it's time to just let that stuff go. And I know, easier said than done, right? But we can do it. We have our practices. We do our meditation. We do our breath work. We spend time in nature. We dance. We do exercise. We do yoga. Whatever our practice is, in the next couple days. So between now, whenever you found this video, and February 17th, and ideally maybe a few days after February 17th, maybe to February 20th or 21st, as we go through this transition point, okay, relying more heavily on our practices to keep us grounded and calm our nervous system so that we can make decisions and choices about the intentions that we're making that will best utilize this energy. So I want to ask the cards, like, what are some options for how we can use this energy? What intentions might we want to set? Wow, I just shuffled the deck. You guys just saw that. You can't fake this stuff. I got the Lovers again. So this time I'm seeing this card. Okay, so our relationships are literally one of the most, I'd say, top 3 things in our lives that affect how we feel on a day-to-day basis. If we're surrounded by people that drain us and that bring us down and that are negative, we feel pretty negative ourselves. If we are around people who lift us up, we feel lifted, right? So in this past cycle, this year of the snake, we were guided to release a lot of old relationships that just weren't serving us anymore. This coming cycle, this coming year, and especially I'm getting this period between this new moon in February and then the new moon in March. So this next month particularly is potent for this. Getting clear on what kind of new relationships we're calling in. Yeah. Because the potential for co-creation is very great right now. What I mean by that is it's in the Bible. It says, when 2 or more come together in my name, there I am also. What does that mean? In my name, the name of love, the name of the universe, the name of source, energy, whatever you want to call it. So when you get together with even just one other person with a clear intention, look what happens. And for those of you guys who've been following the monks, the Buddhist monks who have been walking across the United States and getting so much media coverage, you know, those monks came together in co-creative spirit to promote peace and love. And look at how many people are being affected by that, right? And so we only need one other person to come together with, and we can change so much. Oh, yeah, service. How will we be a service? And that, I'm really feeling it, guys. So if you've been in this past year, like feeling like you've been really focused on self-care, like just to hold things together, just to survive, you know, this shift, what we're shifting into with February 17th as this turning point is that, like, because we're going to have more beautiful energy coming in, which is going to make our health feel better. Our health is going to improve. We're just going to feel better. Like we have more to give. Yes, continue our self-care. Of course, we always want to continue doing that. We always want to continue our own personal practices that keep us grounded and peaceful and loving. Yes, of course. Yes, keep doing that. But we're going to have more energy for service, for helping others. Wow, what a gift that will be. So what service do you want to do? And this is nothing that these cards can tell you. This is a moment for you to be in your heart space and ask yourself, how do you want to contribute? Is it creating art? Is it creating safe spaces for people that have been harmed and abused, homeless people? Is it for writing, creating poetry, making films, taking care of animals, being advocates for animal rights? What is it now? What is this next chapter, this next cycle of more energy? How are you going to use it? And you know that deep in your heart. And if the question is coming up, well, but I can't afford it because I don't have the time, right? We live in this crazy culture, that says time is money. So we're taught to hustle. Ugh. If I could just wipe that word out of existence, I would. I hate that word. We don't need to hustle, my friends. We don't need to hustle. And sometimes we make these fear-based choices based on what pays the bills. But I'm going to invite you in this next cycle to look at things different, to start looking. I want to invite you to start looking at things differently. Okay? Back in 2019, I made a vow to the universe. I vowed that I would never again take a job where my number one reason for taking that job or any activity, I would not do an activity in the world where my number one motivation for doing so was money. Now, sure, money could come as like a secondary or a third or somewhere on the list, like low or below of, I need money. So this would be a good, this is another good factor to consider whether I want to do this activity or job or not. But I made that vow. And that vow changed my life because I realized that I wasn't going to hustle anymore, that my life was too precious for hustling. My life was too precious to invest this body, this precious gift of life, into using it for crap that I didn't want to do. And what I want to do is always aligned with God, with service, with source, with helping others, with helping this consciousness on this planet expand. That vow was one of the best things I have ever done because it gave me crystal clear clarity on what I'm doing here. And I said to myself, if that means I starve, I starve. If that means I die, I die. I'm not going to go get a job at some gas station or mega grocery store or big box store or restaurant that serves unhealthy food or some of these crappy ass jobs that we sometimes feel like we have to take to make ends meet. And side note, I feel you. If you have a family, kids that you're supporting, I feel you. I feel you. But this kind of vow, especially if we have people that we're taking care of, it makes it even more special to the universe. And the universe will recognize you for your bravery and your commitment. But this could be a great time for you to make that commitment to yourself of, I'm not going to do stuff just for money anymore. No, my life is more valuable than that. So how is Spirit guiding me? How is Spirit leading me to use this vessel, this precious vessel, in service of love? Because that is what spirituality is. Love, spreading love, plain and simple. Whatever words, whatever doctrines, dogma, all this stuff doesn't matter. How can you be a more loving, kind, authentic, helpful, nice, kind person? That's what spirituality is. How can you be more of service? How can you be more of service to the world and not let things like money cloud your decision-making processes? So I'm going to end it there. I'm so glad you tuned in. And before I go, I want to make one more invitation to you. If you have been enjoying these readings that I've been giving on this channel, something awesome is coming. March 3rd, I'm launching a second YouTube channel dedicated entirely to readings like this. Intuitive channel messages using some cards as helpful tools. So usually in the description box below, I have a lot of different information about a lot of cool things, but for today's video, there is just one thing, and that's the link to the new channel. There's no videos posted yet because it starts March 3rd. It's gonna come off like a fire horse. And what I would like you to do, I would like to extend the invitation to go ahead and subscribe now so that when the videos start kicking off in March, you will be the first to know. You'll get that notification. So go ahead and subscribe to the new channel. Let me see your love and support. I would so appreciate receiving that support from you as I launch this new project, because that's my new project. I'm going to keep this channel going, don't you worry, but I'm going to add more. And I would love to co-create with you. So go ahead and subscribe to the new channel. I'm so excited to see you over there as well. Let's keep it going, okay? Thank you. I love you. Thanks for tuning in. I'm so excited to walk with you. See you in the next video very soon, my friends. Bye for now.